You read that right. The final level in Breezy is a giant volcano that you have to climb up. Well, I mean, if you watched the last Devlog, you already knew that, but hey. In this video, I'll explain how I made this level as well as what comes next. We may even have to go back to the very beginning. But first, let me show you how I made this volcano. I began by modeling the volcano in Blender. This part was fairly simple. I just created a cylinder, expanded the base, and used the knife tool to cut two strips along the side. Then I lowered one of the strips to make it level with the other, creating a path up the volcano. That's pretty much all the 3D modeling I had to do. Once I had finished the modeling, I imported the volcano into Unity, where I added the rock texture and some lava to the top of the volcano. Then I sprinkled the sides of the volcano with some tricky traps from previous holes, from drafts to bomb rocks. Of course, because of the sheer size and grandeur of this level, I couldn't display it with the regular bird's eye view camera. Instead, I designed a special camera that spiraled up the volcano with the ball, slowly rising up to the top. This camera system actually leads to what may be one of the best unintentional design decisions in any of these levels. When you're lifted up by this draft at the start of the level, you fly upwards and get a pristine view of the rest of the volcano, including the lava at the top. Truly breathtaking. You may be asking, but where's the flag gonna go? Well, my friends, I really am breaking tradition with this level. There is no flag. At least not yet. As of right now, the lava acts as the goal of the level. I actually plan to have a diverging path of sorts in this level, depending on what ending the player has unlocked. That's right, this game has. This system somewhat ties into the story of the game, as well as the unlock system. I plan for Breezy to have what I call the good ending and the bad ending. Players unlock the bad ending by simply beating the final level. It's technically a stopping point, but I don't plan for it to unlock very much. It might be fun to have the bad ending unlock Remix Rush, which is a good way to find and play new levels. At one point I had planned for it to unlock Golden Tees, but I figure that if a player can't beat the final level, having Golden Tees would help them unlock a new character that can make it easier. As for the good ending, you unlock it by beating every main level in the game. That's where the final level comes back in. If you've beaten every other level in Worlds 1 through 6, falling into the lava will trigger the ending cutscene, which will eventually lead to the credits. The good ending will probably unlock the unlockables and statistics menu. After all, everyone going for 100% has to start by beating the game. But speaking of cutscenes... It took a long time, but I finally finished Breezy's opening cutscene. This wasn't the most fun thing in the world to make, but I'm fairly satisfied with it now that I've finished it. I'll give you a short primer on Breezy's story. There's an investment firm called Thanksgiving Investment Company, whose COO is this man, Mr. Martinez. He's approached by this guy, Mr. Cowley, who's fresh out of college and ready to start building his wind turbine business. Cowley explains the idea to Martinez, who offers him an investment on one condition. If Cowley's really such an expert on wind, he should be able to beat him in a game of golf. Cowley agrees, even though he's never played golf before, and they head out to the course. I'm using this portion of the opening cutscene as the game's tutorial. You press the hit button to hit the ball, and you have to control the wind, even if it is only in 2D. Now, don't ask me how this relates to the beach course, ice course, city course, disco course, or volcano course. I guess I just get there somehow. As for actually making the cutscene, I started out by writing out all of the caption. I went for a cutscene in the style of Yoshi's Island, where the happenings themselves are in a box with some captions underneath. I made a sketch of each cutscene before drawing them all in GIMP in a style similar to the title screen. When importing them all into Unity, I added this nice frame and made a cool modern background with this shader graph. I also couldn't resist adding some catchy music to this minute-long cutscene. I'll make sure to post this music since I think it actually makes a pretty good first impression on the player. Anyway, I haven't made the closing cutscene yet, but I plan for it to have a short QTE sequence where the volcano erupts and you have to maneuver the ball to avoid volcanic rocks. Now for a surprise that I'm sure no one expected, another unlockable course, the last one being all the way back in October of 2021. This course is based on the moon with the requisite low gravity, UFOs, and beautiful space skybox. As for the terrain, I designed a custom terrain brush in GIMP to make the little crater rings. I think they turned out quite nice, although the shadows are a little low quality. That's the price for atmospheric lighting, I guess. I could always use baked lighting, but look at me being speculative when there's game dev to do. Of course, I'd like to see this moon course get finished. It'll be a great addition for the trailer, which I also want to work on. Once I get that finished, I'll be ready to put up a Steam page and maybe even look for publishers. As much as I love working on Breezy, I am excited to see it released so that I can work on an even more exciting project. That's all for this devlog though. It has been a while. You can thank college applications for that. So I'll have to get back into the swing of things. I want to get back to my previous devlog schedule, which was have a good day.